Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Refined Lad. It's so good to be with you guys again. I just wanted to state my thanks and my support. That last video, a lot of you guys were super interested in, and it's something that I don't feel like is talked about enough in society. So thank you for your engagement. Thank you for the new subscribers. We continue to grow. One thing that I can tell all my new folks that just joined is if you stay on this channel, I will help you become the best version of yourself possible. No BS. This is not a marketing gimmick. This is people doing real work in real time and seeing absolute results. Now, the more and more that I notice when I'm looking at the lighting and I'm trying to get these things figured out, especially, I've been doing this now for a year and a half and I'm still figuring out how to basically feng shui the place, how to put things in an organized manner. And you look at the lighting, and I just have never realized how white I actually am. I mean, I'm like vampire white. In the summer, trust me, I get a little bit of color. The bottom line is I'm still better looking than Ed Sheeran. Sorry, Ed. Today, I'm going to be continuing on with the topic of attachment. But in particular, what I want to focus on today is that letting go of attachment, right? So this is going to be on the law of detachment. This is a universal law that has been predicated since the beginning of time that not enough people are tapping into. Now you often hear connotations about trusting the process. Well, how about when trusting the process is not enough for us? And I want to go on to say that it's human. The need to hold on to the things that we deeply value. It might evoke an emotion for us. However, there comes a time where the very same things that we tend to cherish are the same things that are responsible for holding us back in our life. So just to clarify, because I always feel like I have to do this, because my saying is that there's always one. There's always one person that either takes things the complete opposite of what I'm trying to say and twists my words, or there's always just one wild person that just does the most out-of-pocket things and really doesn't take anything away from the video. So this is for that specific subset group of people. To clarify, this does not mean to burn all your bridges in an effort to restructure a new life for yourself. Rather, this is to let your expectations go, which in return constitutes a happier life for you. Now, something that I find a lot of us ask ourselves is the what if. And right now, I'm sure you're playing all the times you've said in your head, what if this, what if that? What if has become the definitive question that each of us ask ourselves at a given point in time. Specifically when we feel lost or when we feel tied to an outcome. Because we become so dependent on that thing working out, we can't wrap our head around it not working out. What if I can't measure up to this expectation? What if I can't perform this task? What if I'm not the right person for the job? What if I can't make this person happy? And a side note on that, it's not your job to make a person happy. It's up to that person to find a way to get that self-fulfillment, that they can make themselves happy, but you are not the source of somebody's happiness. You do not need that extra stress. What if I fail?
Other than death, all failure is psychological.
So something that's been a hard thing for me to realize, especially in the last couple of years, is I have had some of the most unprecedented times. We're talking job transitions, moving, friendships, relationships, being lost, building new bridges, making new connections, growing the channel, pursuing a greater purpose within myself that I didn't even know was there. So it's natural to plan ahead. For all my planners out there, right? It's natural to plan ahead, to wonder what's going to happen next. True freedom is found in the unknowing. You see, because here's the thing. When our soul gets so wrapped up in an outcome, we have already lost the battle in a sense of ourselves with it. So what am I implying here? Well, we're no longer focused in the present. I talk to you guys all the time about being in the present moment. How many times have we missed out on big opportunities because we were dwelling on the past or we had anxiety about the future? B, we exert all our energy and all our efforts into trying to obtain this object, that it literally becomes an unhealthy obsession within ourselves. And this is another scary component of relationships, because people who have an anxious attachment style will do this. Their entire validation, their self-worth revolves around this one person that they met, giving them this fulfillment that they can't find within themselves. So they feel the need to always have to connect, always to have that interaction. They can't be alone with themselves. But here's the key thing with this. We are acting out of fear. And a big shout out to Mark Singh, who has a podcast for men. He said that fear represents the anagram for false evidence appearing real. So we are acting out of fear when we feel the need to have to control every little detail, everything around us at all times, including anyone. Now, for those of you who are more spiritual, when we do our own thing, well, first let me ask you this. How many times have things panned out for you when you've taken control and you haven't turned the wheel over, per se, right? So when we're trying to control every little object, we're trying to control the timeline, we're trying to control this event, we are not giving room for the Creator to provide what He needs to provide. We're not giving Him room to act on our behalf because we are operating out of a place of scarcity. Now, what you see here is the vibrational scale. I want you guys to get acquainted with this because we are going to refer to this back and forth. As soon as I discovered this made so much sense to me when it came to emotions. The different feelings that we have when people say they're resonating at a higher frequency. You know, a lot of the stuff that people say, oh, you're low vibration, oh, high vibration. To be completely honest with you, I have met some of the most toxic, manipulative people who use that language. It's crazy to me. I have found some of the most gaslighting, narcissistic people who use that kind of language to justify their toxic behavior. So I think the word vibration is accurate, but we got to be careful because I think it has become something that is not representational of what it actually means anymore, and it's just a word that gets thrown around when it is so much more than that. So when we're operating out of this frequency, and you'll see here on the vibrational scale what fear sits at, right? It's some of the lowest frequencies, and this is measured in hertz. It can plant the seeds of doubt into our mind, furthering the process of what is meant to be for us. Rather, and hear me out, when you expect an outcome, it is much better to not know what to expect and to let go of that uncertainty and take that leap of faith. Looking back in time, some of the most amazing people that I have met, some of the most powerful memories that I have had to this day were when I was least expecting them. So a common issue that I find with outcomes, especially in relationships, is that when somebody gets in a relationship, how often do you see in a relationship where one individual projects what they think that person needs to be solely based on their expectations? And then one or two things happens in this case. First, we force what we want this person to become, but it further drives them away because we are trying to control somebody. Two, and I see this particular problem especially among men. I even have friends that have gotten into this. They get in a happy, healthy relationship, especially if they have dealt with toxic women in the past. They're finally happy to get in this, what appears to be a healthy relationship. And they change their entire personality to accommodate this one woman because they think this is it. They drop their hobbies, okay? That's a big no-no. They drop their friend group because she wants to spend all the time with him. And newsflash, that does not work, okay? This is always a test from a woman to see if you are congruent with who you say you are. And we will talk about this later, but trust me, a woman is always testing even when you least expect it. And it's not always conscious. A lot of this is out of the subconscious. This is all primitive, right? This is all to see who the most strong male is, who the most high value male is, who the real man is. Does his words line up with his actions? So women don't usually purposely do this, but some do. Here's the thing. This man will then start to mold, right? He starts to fit this mold, starts shaping into this. He's spending less time with his friends, starts spending more time with her. Like I said, he gives up his hobbies. Maybe he gives up his passion. Maybe he changes his career around to accommodate. Maybe he wants to be able to see her better, so he changes his entire schedule. This is not what a woman wants, men. And as a result of this, she slowly begins to build a resentment. And I'm not too aware if this is on a conscious level, but she starts to lose respect for him more and more and more. Because this is not the man that she fell in love with. This is a man trying to accommodate because he's operating out of a place of scarcity. He's scared to lose this woman, and so he changes his entire being and identity, and his world revolves around this woman rather than his purpose. And what usually happens in this scenario is she falls out of love with him because it's not the man that first courted her. Because he sacrificed who he was as an individual just to keep her. This makes a woman feel unsafe. So when a man is able to master this self-concept, be congruent with his actions, value who he is as a person, and will only provide his time to a woman who values him and respects him, that's a dangerous man. A man who is able to do those things. Because this man knows that he is in the upper 5% of men within the male population on this planet. Because he's not attached to the outcome. He has so many other things in his life that he is working towards, right? He's working towards his mission. He's working towards his purpose. We talked about options. He has options. Women want a man on his purpose. Women do not want a man who sacrifices who he is, stops what he does, and backpedals what he wants, all because she says it. Everything that he is working towards, he put his blood, sweat, and tears into, and he will continue to work, right? Because that's who he is as a man. He's not compromising his values, and he's never phased. So let me ask you this. Would you promote somebody within a company that you own that performs above and beyond the standards? They clean up after themselves. They lead by example. They're on time, but then other days they're sluggish. Their work is poor performance. They're not on time. Would you promote somebody that has that type of character? And the answer is no. I hope the answer is no. Because they're inconsistent with their actions. So what makes you think that we can hold on to all these attachments, right? With others, these expectations, this outcome dependency, try to control every aspect of our life, all while holding these grudges and expecting to be rewarded, while preaching the same tolerance to others when you don't even believe in what you speak on. The bottom line is this, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot have your cake and eat it too, while leading a successful and meaningful life, not just for yourself, but for others. So you're going to write down 5 letters for me in capitals. And I just want you to hang this up, whether it's on your car mirror, on a computer screen, on the wall, the door you leave, or by the door you leave every morning for work. But I want you to put this in a place that you see it. And all I want you to write is Trust. Trust. What's the one thing a lot of us have an issue with? Trust. That all things will work out in the manner that they are supposed to. And in the meanwhile, let go of those attachments to things that no longer serve you. So if this resonated with you, leave a comment below. And please, I implore everybody that watches this channel, I want everybody to become truth seekers, okay? I want everybody to research this information for themselves. I want there to be more deep thinkers in this world because a lot of everything nowadays is just spoon-fed. I want you to get it right from the source. So any questions, comments, concerns that you have, leave them in the comments below. I love to engage with you guys. Leave me a like. Make sure you subscribe. I release videos weekly. I also want to let you guys know, for those of you who are interested in one-on-one coaching with me, I'm going to leave my email below for those who seriously want to improve upon their life. We'll do a 15-minute consultation call so I can see what you're looking for and if I am able to help accommodate those things. And we're going to see if you are a good fit. Make sure you do that thing for me though. Make sure you post that up. I don't care if it's a sticky note. I don't care if it's a letter to yourself. But make sure that you can see that trust every day because that's what you are trusting in. You're learning not to control things. You're learning to trust. As always, make sure you guys take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next video. Stay frosty.